If you feel like you're wasting your life, maybe you are. If you've just spent the last couple of hours on YouTube or Netflix or Instagram or whatever it is for you, and you know that you've just been idling your time away, going for this easy fix that doesn't ever really meet your needs. It kind of dances around the edge and leaves this feeling of guilt and shame and hollowness inside. Because you know this isn't really living. It's kind of comfortable. It's easy, for sure. But it's not nourishing. It's not getting you what you ultimately need. I realized recently that the quality of my life, how I see myself, the value that I give to myself, the confidence that I feel, the connection that I feel to things, is all based on one thing: my attention. And the great thing about attention is that you are in command of your own attention. You get to choose where you move it to. The thing is that attention is also a very valuable commodity in the modern world. The largest companies that exist are vying for your attention. They are doing what they can because they know how much money they can make from it. The thing is that it's also incredibly valuable to you. Not in the form of money, but in the currency of life. The Buddha said, "Your mind creates your world." And that is all about attention and where it's placed. So if you focus entirely on mainstream media news, maybe you'll think the world is a scary and dangerous place. If you focus your attention on spending time in nature, of interacting with animals, of spending time with friends outdoors, you'll come to a very different conclusion. This is the beautiful thing, is that our attention can transform our world. The moment that we shift it, that we change it, we can have so much more control, so much more true comfort by actually getting our needs met, by actually being nourished. These time spent on YouTube, social media, Netflix, whatever it may be for you, I understand that. I understand the utility of numbing, of needing something to just allow yourself to shut down in some sense. But when there's no boundary on that, when it's limitless, and the modern world is so limitless, the amount of things that we have to distract ourselves with, the amount of food that we have that's so high in calories and sugar and fat. We live in a world of abundance, and so we need to impose our own diets. And we impose our own diets in terms of the food. We know that we don't want to continuously eat Krispy Kreme donuts or whatever it is, that incredibly highly calorific, sugary, fatty foods, because we want to maintain a certain physique. And similarly with our attention, we want to make that a strong muscle as well. And that comes through choice. For me recently, I've just got back into reading, and it was a real struggle to begin with, to start reading, because my mind just wasn't really used to it. I read articles and things like that, but to sit down and read a book required a lot, especially to begin with, to restart. And the value that I get from that, the sense of something nourishing me, of something being met inside of me whilst reading and after the process of reading, there's this sense of accomplishment. I don't get that from most Netflix or YouTube or scrolling. If I'm watching something specific on YouTube, if I'm watching a film I really want to watch on Netflix, it's different. But it's this scrolling out of comfort, this searching for something just to focus our energy on so we can disengage, disconnect. That's the stuff which really isn't serving us. So yeah. There's something which I heard, which I really like the idea of. I call it the attention game, where you choose one of these things. So maybe it's Netflix, maybe it's a specific show on Netflix that you're watching, and you can determine how it makes you feel during and after. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 5 being kind of middle baseline, seeing how you feel while you're watching the show. Maybe it's baseline, maybe it's slightly less than baseline. I think for me it's probably slightly less. And then afterwards, especially if I've spent 2 hours doing that, I'm way below baseline. I'm down to a 2, 3 at best, maybe. There's this sense of almost despair, just this kind of empty shame. Whereas, yeah, if I'm doing something different, if I'm going for a walk in nature, maybe it's a 5. Maybe if it's a beautiful walk, maybe it's a 6 or a 7. If it's with a friend, maybe it's an 8, maybe it's a 9. So we really get to choose. Naval Ravikant talks about this idea of a trade between easy and hard. What is easy in the short term makes life harder. What's hard in the short term makes life easier later on. But we tend not to want to do the hard things. And that's why we need to train ourselves. And any training is hard at the beginning. Learning how to build muscle in the gym is hard. Learning to read and to spend an hour a day reading is hard. Learning how to meditate is hard. But these are all things which create value in life. These are the things which I really give importance to: meditation, journaling, reading, exercise, diet, being in nature, connecting with friends. These are all things which are so integral, that give this sense of aliveness. And that's where I want my attention to be. Not on YouTube. I mean, not so much on YouTube. You know, there are still things of great value there as well, if I search for them specifically. But it's this listlessness, this great sense of ungrounding, as you're just going through the motions. Awareness is a choice. And the thing is that you get to choose in this moment where you place it. So make it a good one.